It has been one day since Prime Minister Mark Carney announced a plan to recognize a Palestinian state. Tonight, some of the implications of that are starting to come into focus. Our political specialist, Glen McGregor, joins us from Ottawa now. And Glen, we know Donald Trump is angry about Canada's position. Is there any other potential international fallout?
Well, look, this may be an acceleration, but it's not a change of direction in Canadian foreign policy. Our governments, including conservative governments in the past, including one led by Stephen Harper, have long advocated for a two-state solution in the Middle East. And Canada is not really out on a limb here. Our G7 peers, the UK and France, recently announcing that they would recognize a Palestinian state, but the United States does not. And Trump's social media post last night suggests that Canada's new position on statehood could actually jeopardize the trade talks that are potentially in their final hours this afternoon and this evening. But Trump very likely knew, based on his conversations with the UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer that he had over the weekend in Scotland, that Britain would take a similar position, and that's exactly what they did. But still, the UK managed to come to some kind of agreement, you can argue about whether it's a good deal or not, with Trump on tariffs. In fact, the UK got a better deal than Trump gave the European Union that hasn't taken the same position. So this really does look a bit like Trump bluster. He's trying to for more leverage in the trade dispute rather than something that is going to have, Cynthia, a real long-term impact on our standing in the rest of the world.
So, Glenn, reaction to Carney's plan to recognize Palestinian statehood is divided, which he must have known would happen. Why is he taking this stance now? I mean, he's certainly going further, as you mentioned, than any previous Canadian government.
He absolutely knew it was going to be divisive, both internationally to a certain extent and really domestically. And that's also likely why, at his announcement yesterday, he unveiled some further steps he's going to take to curb anti-Semitism. Now, groups in Canada that support Israel, like B'nai B'rith, are obviously not happy with this idea of Canada backing Palestinian statehood. But he also knew that Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party would jump all over this, as they did yesterday, accusing him effectively of rewarding Hamas for the October 7th attacks. But I think Carney is looking at the polling that shows increasing concern among Canadians about how Israel is conducting the war in Gaza, and really looking closely at those images we are seeing on television every night of children near to starvation because humanitarian aid is just not getting through. Now, there are a lot of steps still that has to be taken before a Palestinian state is established, and such a move at the UN could always be blocked by the U.S. using its veto on the Security Council. So this looks more like, from Mark Carney, an attempt at moral suasion, with Canada joining an effort to put increased pressure on Israel to agree to at least a ceasefire and, crucially, allow the deliveries of food and medicine, some of it funded by Canada, to civilians in Gaza. Cynthia.
Okay, Glen McGregor in Ottawa, as always, thank you very much for your analysis.